How many of you would say, I'm a narcissist? Just give me a hand. Who of you would say, I am a narcissist? See one there, one there, one there, one there. Great. Well, I am also a narcissist. And I was quite shocked figuring that out. So I'm going to tell you today that the sooner we know about narcissism, the better. The better for ourselves and the better for good leadership. Narcissism is characterized by self-centeredness and exaggerated self-love. So, posting pictures of myself makes me part of the so-called selfie generation, as you can see here. The selfie generation is under a lot of pressure. Why so? Because we compare ourselves. And we compare ourselves with the entire world. And let's be honest, we never look down. We always look up to the people with more success, more money, and more beauty. So, trying to compete, what do? We post pictures of ourselves because we start working on our own marketing campaign. We start working on our image. So, but how is the selfie generation related to narcissism, you might wonder? Well, I will get back to that in a minute. First of all, I would like to start with the definition of narcissism. For those of you who haven't been in contact yet with the topic. A narcissist has a great sense of self-importance. A narcissist is looking for power, glamour, beauty, and ideal love. A narcissist believes himself to be special and unique. A narcissist desires excessive admiration. A narcissist wants to be treated preferentially. By the way, where has been the red carpet when I came in here? A narcissist takes advantage of others, and a narcissist has a lack of empathy. A narcissist is envious of others and thinks that others are envious of him or her. And last but not least, a narcissist is arrogant and overbearing. So, the worldwide classification system for mental disorders says that if at least 5 of these criteria are met, then we are talking about the pathological narcissism. Well, just to make sure, today I will only be talking about narcissistic tendencies. So, anything less than 5 points, we are talking about tendencies. I will leave the pathological narcissism to the psychologists of this world. In May last year, the Harvard Business Manager published the worldwide, as far as we know, worldwide largest individual empirical study about narcissism. Almost 10,000 people have been interviewed, and we had in-depth interviews with 34 top executives, 17 female and 17 male. To be honest, I had the in-depth interviews myself, because I am very proud that I was one of the 6-person team behind this study. So, I want to share the most interesting findings with the study with you today. First of all, 100% of the interviewed top managers confirmed that they already had bad experience with narcissism. They also confirmed that some narcissistic traits are good, even helpful, if you want to get along and if you want to get promoted, but that toxic narcissism, too many narcissistic traits, they have a destructive effect on people and companies. Why so? Well, toxic narcissistic leaders, they do not listen to the ideas and opinions of others. They are hindering innovations and diversity of thought, and they do not like others to grow besides them, next to them. So all of this, the consequence is that brain drain. You all heard of that, I guess. So this graph shows that the level of of hierarchy corresponds to the level of narcissism. So that means the higher up we get, the more narcissistic we become. So we thought that as soon as all the old, toxic, narcissistic bosses retire, we get rid of the problem by ourselves. That is a misconception, to think that narcissism is going anywhere, because this is not going to happen. As you can see at this most important graph, and now we get back to the selfie generation, we found out that the young people, the selfie generation, are the age group with the highest narcissistic tendencies. Well, what does that mean for us? This is a warning because narcissism will stay around for sure. And we have to learn getting along with that. So we start by learning how to recognize a narcissist. How do you recognize a narcissist? It's not easy because they are not easy to identify. First of all, because there are different types of narcissism. Like there's the grandiose type, which is the very loud, aggressive, very obvious type, the Trump type, let's say, which is more common in men. And then we have the vulnerable type, which is a more hidden type and more common in women. So also, narcissists do not only have negative traits. In a short term, you will see that narcissists, they are very charismatic, sociable, entertaining, communicative. And they do care a lot about their outer appearance. So when you meet a narcissist, you will see that he or she seems to be very confident about himself. And the narcissist convinces us easily that he's the perfect match for that job. And this is the trap companies walk into, because they think, wow, this is the perfect match for this position. But in the long term, then you realize that it's not all good about a narcissist. In the long term, you will see that a narcissist wants all the attention for himself. He wants to be always in a good, positive light, and he or she will do anything to make this happen. Narcissists exploit their co-workers. They even harass and bully the co-workers. Narcissists have a lack of empathy. They do not really care about who you are and how you feel. Narcissists do not listen to you, as I said before. And also, narcissists do manipulate you. So whenever a narcissist acts like he's interested in you as a person, maybe the narcissist is just manipulating you. So now we know how to recognize a narcissist, more or less. The second question we have to ask ourselves, how to cope with narcissism once we recognized them. Well, the first thing I want to share with you, or I want to suggest, do not doubt yourself. I had a narcissistic boss in a former company myself, and I did doubt myself. I could do anything to make the boss happy. It wasn't possible. It was impossible. And I started doubting myself. I was like, what am I doing wrong? If I would have known at this time about narcissism, and that's why I'm telling you, the sooner we know, the better. If I would have known, I wouldn't have doubted myself. Second, stick together as a team. As soon as you realize that you're doubting yourself and you feel insecure, you feel bad working with this narcissistic boss, go to your colleagues, ask them, do you feel the same way? Do you also think that this is a difficult person? And if so, you go together with the team, as a team, to the boss and talk to the boss. If it doesn't work, you go to the boss, and then to the boss, and so on. So, another thing, do not criticize a narcissist. Well, at least don't do it in a very personal and direct way, because they really do not like that. They do like to criticize, but they do not like taking criticism. I mean, who does? Let's be honest. So if you go, the interviewed managers, they suggested that you praise the narcissist first, and then you go ahead with constructive feedback. That might help. Last but not least, there is the nice sentence, love it, change it, or leave it. Well, in this case, if you're working together with a narcissist, there is no changing it. You won't change a narcissist. Never. Well, never say never, but maybe 1 in a million times, but in general not. So either you learn how to cope with narcissism and you learn how to get along and to handle the situation, or worst case scenario, you will have to leave the job and look for a new one. So, the last question we have to ask ourselves, and I think that's the most important one of all, is how do I prevent myself from becoming a toxic narcissist? Well, how do I do so? There's only one word. It's self-reflection. Reflect on yourself. Ask your colleagues, your fellow students, your family, your friends. Ask them how they think about you, to give you feedback. Ask them, do you think I'm empathetic? If you're afraid to ask them, then you can still make a personality test. I did so myself. I made a personality test and I had a very high score of narcissism. Very high score. I was shocked. And I was really, I mean, making so much research about the topic, how bad it is, and then you find out you're one yourself. It's not really very nice. So I called my psychologist friend Marcus, and I said, Marcus, I just figured out I'm a narcissist myself. This is, I was devastated. I was frustrated. And he said, Angela, calm down and have a look at your empathy score. Well, I did so, and, well, it was also very high. So as long as both is very high, yes, I am a narcissist, but I am a good one. Edgy bitch. So you have to watch out that, yes, that you don't have a lack of empathy. So if you do so, check on yourself, reflect on yourself, and do so constantly. This is very important. Only this way you will make sure that you won't be the one getting hurt from your toxic narcissistic boss, and you will make sure that you won't be the toxic narcissistic boss yourself, hurting and losing your best employees. So, let me summarize what I just told you. The sooner we know about narcissism, the better. The better for ourselves and the better for good leadership. Some narcissistic traits, they are helpful if you want to get along and if you want to get promoted. Too many narcissistic traits, toxic narcissism has a destructive effect on people and companies, even on the entire economy. Just to give you a number, 2019, companies worldwide lost $42 billion because of fraudulent activities. And of course, narcissism was not the only reason for that, but it definitely was part of the game. So toxic narcissism, not good. Whenever you get in contact with a narcissist, do not doubt yourself. Not you are the problem, the narcissist is the problem. You're doing just fine. And last but not least, reflect on yourself. Self-reflection, make sure you do not become a toxic narcissist yourself. Because actually, it's all about respect, as so many times in life. And there are two last words I want to share with you. It's confident humility. If some of you don't have a topic yet for their master thesis, well, this would be a perfect topic to talk about, because be confident about yourself, but do not belittle others to make yourself look good. Stop toxic narcissism. Thank you very much.